You think you've seen neighborhood drama until the day your HOA president calls 911 on a bunch of off-duty cops barbecuing on your land. I'm dead serious. Picture this Montana sunset brisket on the grill, a dozen county deputies with their boots kicked up, and then here she comes, power walking up my gravel drive like she's leading a parade of lawsuits. Now, nothing in life really prepares you for the sight of Bethany Crowell, queen of the HOA, and self-appointed sheriff of the valley, screaming into her phone about armed intruders while she's staring straight at half my department badges or not. You want a hook? Try looking your own president in the eye while she points at you and yells, "Dispatch, send backup." There are tactical vehicles and armed men everywhere, and you're holding a spatula just trying to flip some brisket. The night was supposed to be simple, maybe the only kind of peace a county emergency officer ever gets. All week we'd been up to our elbows in flood reports and lake-level checks. My back pasture was just starting to smell like cut hay again. Laughter floated over the yard, everyone off duty, the kind of tired you earn. Greg and Angela and I were talking about the next readiness drill, nothing special until that weird silence rolled in sharp as a dropped plate. I look up and here's Bethany marching with that clipboard like it's the law itself, phone already dialing. Angela leans over. She's not calling the cops on us, is she? Oh, she is. She's in the driveway, feet planted, finger outstretched like she's conjuring a SWAT team. Yes. 911. There are armed men. Dark vehicles. They're moving in formation. I swear the only thing moving in formation were the beer bottles migrating toward the recycling bin. See, Bethany wasn't confused. She was lying. She didn't even blink when I stepped up and said, "You know, this is my property, right? You're trespassing." She comes back with under HOA Statute 14B, "You're harboring armed personnel without approval." I look at Greg. He's as stunned as I am. She wants HOA approval for county deputies. He just shrugs. "Bethany, these are county staff. They work with Sheriff Morales." She waves me off. "Anyone can say they're law enforcement. If they were real officers, they wouldn't be drinking beer beside a barn." Now I'm rubbing my face thinking, is this woman for real? And then off in the distance, sirens. She actually called them. You could see the gears turning in the deputy's eyes. This was about to get ugly. Why now? She'd always had her petty complaints. Dust, goats, fence height. But this was different. This was desperation, not just control. Sirens grew louder. She stood straighter like she'd summoned the cavalry. And let me tell you, when the responding units finally swung through my gate, the look on those deputies' faces, confusion doesn't cover it. No threat, no gunfire, just a backyard barbecue and an HOA president vibrating with righteousness. I stepped back, let the deputies handle her, and called Sarah, my lawyer, and lately the only person who could outmaneuver Bethany on paper. "Jake, HOA filed some strange parcel surveys today. Something's off." My gut sank. Every petty move Bethany made was just another knot in a noose, only she seemed to understand. Now, when the patrol SUVs rolled up, the mood went from barbecue to standoff. Sheriff Morales himself stepped out, his face set like stone. "Tell me she didn't," he says. "She did." Greg pipes up, way too happy. Morales just rubs his face, glances at the barn, the trucks, the group. "Bethany, you called 911 on my department." She starts sputtering about community safety and HOA standards for gatherings, but nobody's buying it. I remind her again my ranch isn't under her bylaws. She hates hearing that you can see it. But then Sarah's call drops a bomb. "The HOA's been redrawing your boundaries, shifting your water access to HOA control. If that move passed, they'd control my creek, my lake access, everything that gave my land real value. See, in Montana, water rights are power. They're not toys. Not something for the HOA to play games with. Bethany was after my water, and she'd invented a whole watershed management adjustment just to file it under the radar. The dust complaints, the goats, even the mailbox tilt, they were all camouflage. What she really wanted was leverage." Then right on cue, a truck rolled up. Remy Hale, neighbor, old-timer, not a man who wasted words. Bethany wasn't always this way, he tells me. After her husband died, something in her snapped. She got obsessed with boundaries. Not rules. Boundaries. The word sat between us like a riddle. Minutes later, Sarah pulls up with maps. Sure enough, the HOA had filed to shift my boundary claim my creek. This isn't a mistake, Jake. It's fraud. Before we can say more, Bethany's at my mailbox, clipboard in hand, poking at it like it's radioactive. It leans 3 degrees, she says. Sarah doesn't waste time. You filed illegal adjustments. Care to explain? Bethany just retreats, real fear in her eyes. That night before dawn, the real threat comes calling. I hear my goats panic. Ranger, the Mustang, kicking his stall. I run out and see 3 figures in the barn, hooded, searching. One's trying to drag Ranger out, another's rifling my old survey files. They weren't here for livestock, they were here for information. They bolt. The tracks lead straight to the HOA subdivision. Morales arrives, takes it all in fast. This wasn't random, he says. Someone thinks you have something you shouldn't. Sarah's there too. They're not kids, Jake. They're organized. And then Bethany herself shows up looking honestly broken. She pulls me aside. Someone broke into my garage 2 nights ago. They took the binder with the original invoices, the evidence of the fraud. Now she's not the mastermind, she's a target. Turns out the developer Marcus Hale, his board, the surveyors, they all ordered her to destroy the paper trail. She kept some out of mistrust. But the binder's gone now. The next break-in was a hunt for backup copies. Suddenly it's clear Bethany isn't the villain anymore. She's the witness, maybe the only one who remembers the whole scheme. Sarah flips to lawyer mode, full protection, full exposure. Bethany's put in my guest cabin, deputies all around, cameras rolling. But it's not enough. The men hunting her, they're pros and they know exactly where she's hiding. Then comes the twist. Bethany reveals she gave a copy of the key files to Remy Hale, Marcus's own brother, years ago. Remy hated the development schemes, wanted nothing to do with the corruption. But by the time we get there, the file is gone. Mailed back to Bethany, she says only now it's missing. And then just as Morales is updating us, they're here. 3 armed suspects at the cabin. Angela's inside with Bethany holding the line. I don't think I'd just run. Floodlights explode across the pasture. Deputies converge. The suspects try to break in, but one slips and I tackle him, pin him down till backup arrives. The rest scatter, but we hold the line. Bethany, shaken, confesses she scanned the most damning documents and hid the drive in her old clipboard, the same one she's carried for years. We dig it out, plug it in, fake surveys, forged signatures, payment trails to shell companies. Enough to bring down the entire HOA board, Marcus Hale, and the consultants who engineered the scheme. Federal agents show up before dawn, move fast, arrest statements, witness protection for Bethany. Marcus Hale is hauled in. But the real architect, Gerald Morgan, the man behind half the HOA bylaws in Montana, he's the brains. Bethany has the proof. With her testimony and that drive, Morgan's empire collapses. By sunset, 6 HOA board members are in cuffs. My land, my water, it's finally mine again. Bethany stands by my lake. I'm leaving, she says. Off to start over, maybe even help others. She hands me an envelope, inside a note. Justice isn't loud, it's steady. Dignity is the sharpest weapon of all. Taped to the back is a photo, used side by side, sunlight behind. A reminder, not all eyes are watching to destroy. Some are there to witness healing. I stand at my gate, wind across the water, knowing peace, real peace, finally returned. And the lesson, I guess, is this: justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's the quiet, stubborn refusal to back down. Sometimes it's doing the right thing even if you're the last one standing. And sometimes it means forgiving the person who made your life hell, because at the end of the day, we all just want to go home. Now let me ask you, if someone came after your land, your life, would you fight back? Or let them take it, one signature at a time? Drop a justice in the comments if you know what it feels like to stand your ground. And if you've got a story of your own about grit or karma or just holding the line, share it. I'll be here waiting on the next ride.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.